Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. Before I get on out of here, I had to talk about a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirectly, it involves Caitlin Clark.
The honeymoon period in Indiana hasn't just hit a speed bump. It's officially slammed into a brick wall, and according to the loudest voice in sports media, the cracks are starting to show in a way nobody expected. Everyone thought that bringing in a tactical genius like Stephanie White would be the final piece of the puzzle for Caitlin Clark. But the reality behind closed doors is starting to look a lot more like a battlefield. While the cameras usually catch the high fives and the logo threes, it's what happened in the closing seconds of their last outing that has the league buzzing. A single turnover by Kelsey Mitchell didn't just cost them a possession. It apparently ignited a firestorm between the new coach and the franchise's golden girl that's now spilled out into the public eye. Stephen A. Smith has entered the chat with a confirmation that has fans questioning if this dream team is actually a nightmare in the making. The tension didn't just appear out of thin air, but the way Stephanie White reportedly handled the aftermath of that late-game collapse has people wondering if she's already losing the locker room before the season even hits its stride. It's one thing to have a tough coach, but it's another thing entirely when that coach's frustration seems to be pointed directly at the player. Everyone was told was untouchable. The play that started it all was a chaotic mess that looked more like a pickup game than a professional set. With the game on the line, Kelsey Mitchell found herself trapped, eventually coughing up the ball in a way that left the entire arena silent. But it wasn't just the turnover that mattered. It was what happened immediately after. Stephanie White didn't go after Mitchell. She went after Caitlin. According to sources close to the team, the frustration wasn't about the hands that dropped the ball, but the lack of leadership in setting up the play. White allegedly felt that Clark didn't take control of the huddle, leaving Mitchell in a vulnerable position. This wasn't just a coach being hard on a rookie. This was a pointed, public-facing critique of Clark's ability to lead veterans. The look on Caitlin's face said it all. A mix of shock and pure DMN frustration. You could feel the air leave the room as White's shadow loomed over the bench. And ever since that moment, the rumors of a rift have been spreading like wildfire through the league's inner circles. Enter Stephen A. Smith, who never misses a chance to drop a truth bomb when things get heated. On a recent broadcast, Smith didn't hold back, confirming that the vibe in Indiana has shifted from excitement to pure ego clashing. He revealed that his sources within the organization are seeing a Stephanie White, who is far less patient with the Caitlin Clark show than her predecessor was. Smith emphasized that White was brought in to win championships, not to manage a brand, and that includes holding Clark accountable for every single missed rotation and every failed play call. But here's the kicker. Stephen A. hinted that White's anger at Clark over the Mitchell turnover was actually a calculated move. It's a classic coaching power play. If you can break the superstar, you can control the team. But in today's NBA, with the eyes of the world on Clark, that kind of old-school coaching might be playing with fire. Smith described the situation as volatile, suggesting that the locker room is currently split between those who side with the coach's discipline and those who think the rookie is being unfairly targeted for the mistakes of others. The dynamic between a veteran like Kelsey Mitchell and a supernova like Clark was always going to be tricky. But adding a coach who isn't afraid of a little tough love has turned it into a powder keg. Stephanie White has a reputation for being a winner, but she also has a reputation for being uncompromising. When Mitchell turned that ball over, it highlighted the lack of chemistry that's been bubbling under the surface. Rumors are circulating that the veterans on the team are feeling a bit overlooked, and White's decision to vent her frustrations on Clark might have been an attempt to bridge that gap with her older player. It's a dangerous game of politics, where one wrong move could alienate the most valuable asset in the history of the franchise. Some are saying White is trying to prove she's the boss, while others think she's simply fed up with the lack of execution in crunch time. Either way, the angry label is sticking, and it's creating a narrative that the Fever didn't sign up for when they made the coaching change. There's a deeper layer to this that most people are missing, and it involves the unspoken rules of the locker room. In the WNBA, respect is earned through grit and time. And even though Clark has the stats and the fans, she's still the kid to many in that room. When Stephanie White exploded after the turnover, it signaled to the rest of the team that Clark isn't getting any special treatment. But there's a flip side. If you treat the person who brought the sellout crowds like just another player, you risk destroying the very energy that's keeping the team afloat. Speculation is mounting that Clark is becoming increasingly isolated, feeling like she can't do anything right in the eyes of her new coach. The tension isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about power. Who really runs the Indiana Fever? Is it the coach with the ring or the player with the logo? Stephen A. Smith's confirmation only adds fuel to the idea that there's a civil war brewing. And the Mitchell turnover was just the first shot fired. If you look closely at the footage from the bench after that play, you see a team that's disconnected. There's no huddle, no encouragement, just cold stares and avoided eye contact. White's body language was aggressive, and Clark's was defensive. This isn't how a championship contender behaves. The rumors of heated film sessions are becoming more frequent, with reports suggesting that White has been pausing the tape on Clark's defensive lapses and poor spacing for minutes at a time in front of the whole squad. It's a shame-based coaching style that some believe is designed to humble the rookie, but critics argue it's only going to lead to a trade request or a complete system failure. The pressure is mounting on Kelsey Mitchell, too, who finds herself caught in the middle of this coaching superstar tug-of-war. She's a professional who just wants to win, but her mistake has become the catalyst for a much larger narrative about the team's internal health. What's even more shocking are the whispers about what happened in the tunnel after the game. While the media was waiting for the press conference, a heated exchange was reportedly overheard near the locker room door. It wasn't just a discussion about a play. It sounded like a fundamental disagreement on how the team should be run. Stephanie White's voice was the loudest, allegedly telling her staff that nobody is bigger than the system. If that's directed at Clark, it's a clear warning. But can you really have a system without catering to the most generational talent the league has ever seen. Stephen A. Smith pointed out that this is exactly what happens when a coach tries to overcoach a genius. You don't tell Picasso how to hold the brush, and you don't tell Clark how to read the floor. But White seems determined to do exactly that, and the Mitchell turnover gave her the perfect evidence to use against Clark's decision-making. The fallout from this is already affecting the team's performance and public perception. Fans are starting to take sides, and Fire White hashtags are already popping up among the Clark faithful. But within the NBA circle, there's a lot of support for White's no-nonsense approach. They see it as a necessary correction to the special treatment they believe Clark has received. This creates a toxic environment where every mistake is magnified. If Mitchell misses a layup, it's Clark's fault for not passing sooner. If Clark takes a deep three, it's a selfish play, according to the coach. It's a cycle of blame that's threatening to derail their playoff hopes. And with Stephen A. Smith confirming that the anger is very real and very directed, the clock is ticking for this group to figure it out. You can't win at this level when your coach and your star player are in a cold war, especially when the veterans are caught in the crossfire of a failed play call. Looking ahead, the road doesn't get any easier. The Fever are under a microscope, and every interaction between White and Clark will be analyzed by millions. Millions. The turnover by Mitchell was a small moment in a long season, but it revealed a massive structural flaw in the team's chemistry. Are they a cohesive unit, or just a collection of individuals trying to survive a high-pressure environment? The recent rumors of internal meetings to address the coaching friction suggest that the front office is worried. They spent a lot of money and capital to build this brand, and they can't afford to let a coaching ego or a rookie's frustration burn it all down. Stephen A. Smith ended his segment with a warning. If this isn't fixed, the Indiana Fever will become the biggest what-if story in the history of the sport. It's a drama that's far from over, and the next game might just be the breaking point for a team that's currently held together by nothing but thin ice and high expectations. The world of high-stakes basketball is rarely as clean as the highlights make it look. And in Indiana, the dirt is starting to pile up. When you have a coach like Stephanie White, who has reached the mountaintop and knows exactly what it takes to win, you expect a certain level of friction with a young, transformative star. But the intensity of this specific conflict, especially after the Kelsey Mitchell turnover, suggests that this isn't just a growth moment to 10. It's a fundamental clash of ideologies. White wants a disciplined, veteran-led squad, where everyone knows their place, while the entire world wants to see Caitlin Clark unleashed. The clash was inevitable, but the fact that Stephen A. Smith is confirming the severity of the fallout means that the secret is officially out. There's a certain level of DMN disrespect that veterans feel when a rookie takes all the air in the room, and White seems to be leaning into that sentiment to maintain her grip on the locker room. But at what cost? If the star player feels targeted, her performance will eventually dip, and when that happens, the fans and the revenue might start to disappear. This is the tightrope that the Fever organization is walking right now. and one wrong step from either White or Clark could send the whole thing crashing down. We've seen this story before in sports, where a legendary coach and a legendary player can't coexist because neither is willing to blink. In this version, the catalyst was a simple ball-handling error by Mitchell, but the explosion that followed revealed the deep-seated anger that's been brewing since day one of training camp. It's a masterclass in how quickly a winning culture can turn sour when egos are involved, and it's a reminder that no matter how many jerseys you sell, the scoreboard and the coach's whistle are the only things that matter in the end. As the team moves forward, every eyes will be searching for signs of a truce. But based on the recent reports, don't expect a group hug anytime soon. The fire is burning, the lines are drawn, and the angry coach is just getting started. It's a situation that could define the next decade of the WNBA, for better or for worse. If they can harness this tension, they might be unstoppable. If they can't, we're looking at the most high-profile collapse in the history of the game. Either way, the exposed truth of the Indiana Fever locker room is far more complex than a simple box score. It's a story of ambition, resentment, and the brutal reality of trying to build a dynasty under the brightest lights imaginable. The next few weeks will tell us everything we need to know about whether this team is built for greatness or destined for a total reset. For now, the silence in the locker room speaks louder than any cheering crowd ever could. And the shadow of that Mitchell turnover continues to loom large over every play they make. It's a DMN shame to see such potential hampered by internal strife. But that's the price of fame in the modern era of sports. Every movement is a headline, and every mistake is a weapon. The question is, who's going to be the first one to lay down their arms, or are they going to keep fighting until there's nothing left? Stephen A. Smith has laid out the facts, and the confirmation of White's anger is just the tip of the iceberg. What lies beneath could sink the entire ship. The drama is real. The stakes are ultimate, and the game is just beginning. In a league that's finally getting the respect it deserves, this kind of internal war is the ultimate sign that the WNBA has truly arrived. It's messy, it's loud, and it's absolutely captivating. But for the fans in Indiana, it's a nervous time to be a supporter. They want wins, not headlines about angry coaches and upset stars. But in the world of professional sports, you rarely get one without the other. The struggle for control is as old as the game itself. And right now, the Indiana Fever are the primary case study in how to handle or mishandle the biggest star in the world. As we look toward the next matchup, the tension will be palpable. You won't just be watching the players on the court. You'll be watching the interactions on the bench, the whispers in the huddle, and the way the coach looks at her star. It's a psychological thriller, played out in 4 quarters, and the ending is still being written. Will Stephanie White's tough love result in a championship-caliber turnaround, or will it be the reason the Caitlin Clark era in Indiana starts looking for an exit strategy? Only time will tell, but the clock is ticking louder than ever. The pressure is on, the truth is out, and the game will never be the same again. This is more than just basketball. It's a battle for the very future of a franchise. And with Stephen A. Smith keeping the fire stoked, the heat is only going to get more intense from here on out. The drama is the draw, but the winning is the goal. And right now, those two things are at a total standstill in the heart of Indiana. It's a fascinating look at the cost of greatness and the volatility of success in the most watched season in history. Every turnover, every missed shot, and every angry look from the sideline is a piece of a much larger puzzle that we're all trying to solve. And as the pieces fall into place, the picture they form isn't the one anyone expected to see.